Welcome. We're going to now discuss the collection for NutrEval. This is the box in which you will get the kit, and we will either drop ship to your home or you'll be given directly in our office. And these are all the contents of this box minus these two containers. So I recommend that as soon as you get the box, remove all the contents and spread them all out. And the first thing you'll go to is the ice block. I recommend that you take the ice block right away and put in the freezer, so that when it is time for you to take all the samples, the ice block is already nicely frozen and the specimen can then be transferred into this foam box. The ice block goes right at the bottom of it, like this, and then all the contents will then go in there. So make sure the ice block is frozen. Secondly, go to the requisition slip. Requisition slip basically has the name of our practice. There's a signature mentioned over here, but it is not required since it has the name. So when there's no signature, don't worry. Then you have the billing information. We will let you know which type of billing you will need, and depending upon what your situation is. And then we will also let you know which ICD-10 codes you need to put in there. And then over here, between these two choices, you will select the top choice. And these we typically don't do with them, so you won't have to worry about any of these. And this is the date when we will actually have the last blood collection, and this is the date that needs to be put over there. So this is the requisition slip, and then on the back of the requisition slip you have the personal information, you have all the insurance information, and then you have all the payment information, and this is the payment responsibility that you have to sign. Please make sure that you have filled this entire thing out in its entirety and nothing is left out. Typically they also want the back and front copy of your insurance card so that they can verify that. So that takes care of the requisition slip. This also has some Medicare disclaimer as well as some other additional information that you want to make sure that all the stuff is in here before you submit the sample. Then you go on to this. These are all the labels over here that you need to put your date of birth on all these labels and make sure they're ready, and all these labels are then affixed onto all the tubes that are present inside the kit. So like I said, repeat, put your date of birth over here and it has a unique identifying number. All these labels are then ripped off and they are actually affixed on all these tubes. So now let's go over to the this urine collection bag 1 sample. These are the contents of this box. It will have 3 tubes in it and 1 pipette and a blotting paper and a label over here. These are the instructions that come along with this thing for the urine collection, and I'll go over them briefly with you. So basically, if you have any Tupperware container at home that you intend to discard off, you can get that container, and this has to be the first morning void for urine collection. It has to be fasting. So you, so if suppose you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, however you did woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, so you do collect that sample also in here, and you have a choice: either put this container in the fridge, or you can get another Tupperware like this, put ice in there, and put it over here so that it stays nice and cold. And then when you finally wake up the last time at 6 o'clock or 7, whatever time you wake up, and you do your first morning void, then you additionally urinate in this same urine sample, and so both the samples can get mixed up, and then you pipette out the urine sample, and then you put them all in these 3 tubes. And I don't recommend that you fill it all the way to the top, but fill it up all the way up to here, not up to the top, because when it'll freeze, it'll expand and may burst open the container, so we don't want that. So please fill it up only up to, leave some space up here. Over here also I recommend like a thumb level, that leave some space up there. And once you actually have filled out with the pipette in all these containers, freeze these vertically in the freezer, and these actually will go, this is a blotting paper that actually is in here, and you put the blotting paper inside it and freeze these vertically, and they actually go like this. and you can put them in the freezer. Again, like I repeat, it needs to be frozen vertically, and make sure that all the labels are fixed onto these tubes. So that takes care, and this pipette will be discarded off. This is not needed because you have the labels, and so that takes care of the urine sample collection. So this is ready. Then we go to the blood collection sample. These are the 4 tubes that you will have in the blood collection sample part. You basically don't have to worry about it because the phlebotomist will be the one who will read these instructions. But for your knowledge, your blood will be drawn in these 2 tubes, and they will go like this as is from these tubes. And then the phlebotomist will draw blood over here. They will centrifuge it and then transfer the serum from here into this tube, and eventually these 3 tubes will go to the laboratory, and these 3 will be discarded off, and they will be basically put in here like this. But this part is done by the phlebotomist, so you don't need to worry about that. But this basically, of course, I'm just putting like that, but this is eventually then, I'll just remove the sample over here for right now. So this will actually go in this biohazard bag like this. And these will be discarded off. And I just want to mention that the blood sample you have to again overnight fast, and there are specific instructions over here, mentioned over here. Number 1, any medicine that we are going to ask you to discontinue, will let you know. Any supplements you want to stop, will let you know. Specifically, any acid blockers, fibrates, steroids, they may impact the result. And then 4 days prior to the test, we want to make sure that any unnecessary supplements are removed, especially artificial sweeteners and MSG. 24 hours prior to the test, you should eat a usual diet, avoid any overconsumption of single ingredient, and fluid intake should be around 8 ounces, glasses, 8 of them, and you should avoid seafood specifically. And then the night before, you must fast overnight and freeze the freezer block that was given to you, minimum of 8 hours for the shipping. So like I mentioned, as soon as you get the kit, if you're frozen that, you don't have to worry about that part. And of course, like I mentioned, the urine sample has to be frozen for completely frozen before this you get to the blood draw. So basically I recommend that if suppose you've scheduled this for the 10th of that month, then you collect your urine sample on the 9th so that it is nicely frozen 24 hours prior to the blood collection. And when you go on the 9th to get your blood drawn, this is drawn, and you take your frozen urine sample as well as the ice block and this thing along with it, and the phlebotomist will then ship all this together. This will be, the reposition strip will actually go in here in the sleeve outside like this, and then these 2 will actually go inside, and they will be closed like this, and then eventually they'll be put inside here. And this is the FedEx bag in which it will eventually be shipped out. And as you can see, there's a place for the shipping label. You affix it over here. They do accept overnight delivery on Saturday, but I always recommend patients that please have your final sample drawn Monday through Thursday. Never do it on a Friday. Sometimes there are holidays, any problem happens, we don't want the sample sitting there for the entire weekend and then getting destroyed, and then you have to redo the whole entire thing again, because then it becomes a hassle. So I always recommend schedule your blood draw from Monday through Thursday, never before after holiday. I mean, probably after holiday, but never before one, because some glitch can happen. And then eventually this will go inside this box, this will go in there, and then that will go inside here, and this is ready to be shipped. So that should take care of the instruction of that. You'll find another like cotton swab over here with the envelope over here. This we typically don't order, so don't have to worry about it. This has a Q-tip specimen collection applicator, so you don't need to worry about this thing. You can use the envelope or recycle these things. so nothing, because we don't order this typically with them. So that takes care of the instructions for NutrEval. Thank you so much.